Just before we start, I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. Helos & Co. and Sporting Club Helos are independent missions. They're both run solely by myself. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would mean the world. Check out helosandco.com. And without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, so I have that. And then I have Helos as well, which is like Helos and Homies. So the idea is to have like a full Sunday League series. You're the perfect person. You'd know like SC Dons maybe or BT squad. Yeah, I want to do that. No one in Australia's ever done it, bro.
Yeah, true.
I've already built up the TikTok. That's piss easy. TikTok's piss easy platform. But yeah, I'm going to do that for Redbacks. So funny you actually know Redbacks, right? That's the whole goal is I've had people come up to me. I've had NRL players come up to me. I've had people noteworthy be like, yeah, I know that kid. Like fucking up the Blacks and Redbacks.
But do you think it's because it's like such a piss take name?
Yeah.
Like Redbacks. Like, sounds like you're like under sevens.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it is. It technically is. The whole club is just like Sunday League.
So it's just one team, that's it.
No. Redbacks is like a club. So go back to like your first ever club.
Yeah, gotcha.
We're just the men's team in that.
Oh, right.
It's like 8 men's teams.
Yeah.
We're just one of them.
Right.
We just put Blacks and Redbacks on the map.
I think it resonates with me because like when I was young, I played against Yas Redbacks.
Yeah.
So like that's probably where I get it from. That's funny as.
But yeah, so I have that, and then I have Helos. So Helos and Homies, where I do like the potties and all that. There's no real.
But is that like general, like not just sporting?
No, it's not just sporting. I'm big in the hip hop community as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I had like a fair few rappers on, producers. But I had a guy, Will Star. He produced for Ariana Grande.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you know that Dangerous Woman album?
Yeah.
He had a song on that.
Wow.
But there's guys in the producing world that are like, you wouldn't even pick them. Dress normally, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you
just
wouldn't know.
sound engineers. And like Ariana Grande, there's Khalid Rahim, who's like all of Kid Laroi stuff, Justin Bieber stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's these guys in Perth, they're called F&Z, getting a hold of them so hard. I'd fly to Perth to do it, bro. They're Kanye's boys, ASAP Rocky's boys. Yeah, bro.
They're the
like,
producers?
Yeah. Like main guys. Yeah. Like Kanye's a self-producer, so he self-produces, but he sends his shit to them and goes, make any like according adjustments.
That's mental.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until a few years ago Kid Leroy's Australian.
Yeah, well.
Because he's from Adelaide, isn't he?
He was in Adelaide for a year or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because one of the boys, Joe Gauchi, his brother, like younger brother, went to school with Kid Leroy.
Yeah, right.
How crazy is that?
That's insane.
Such a small world.
Bro, that is insane. Yeah, he went to Adelaide for like 2 years. And then some of the boys in Sydney who I know, they picked him up. He slept at the studio for like a few weeks there.
No way.
Produced heaps of songs. And they were all producers, marketers and all that. Put him on the map. And then what he'd do is he'd rock up to the hotel of like famous artists that were here. He did it to Juice WRLD and Ray Shrumman. And then Juice WRLD took him on.
Really?
Yeah.
Just from that?
Yeah, Juice WRLD's team.
That's crazy.
But yeah, right. Right, you got a similar story. You fucking went from Sydney Olympic to Schalke.
About who you know, huh?
Is that how you got there?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So Olympic had the partnership with Schalke. Yeah. They had a coach from Schalke coaching at Olympic.
Yeah.
And he kind of like... So it was funny, when I signed... So I left Sydney FC, signed there. First week, wasn't eligible to play first grade, so I played 20s. The guy that was the coach from Schalke, he happened to be coaching the 20s. Yeah. So it was just like dumb luck kind of thing. Played, scored, played really well, whatever, like did my thing. And then straight away after the game, he said to me like, he just knew. And he's just like, I want to work with you. I want to send you overseas kind of thing. And it's like, you hear that all the time. Like so many players, like it's like, how many players would you have said that to?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like I believed him, but like you also don't put your full trust in someone. But like I was still young, so I kind of did put my full trust in him. And yeah, just like trained with him for like literally a year and a half, like did extras with him, trained Olympic, played on the weekend, played every game. And then, yeah, it wasn't until probably like a month before I left for Germany that I knew I was going to Schalke. So like they were trying to keep it all like hush-hush, like top secret. And then they were waiting for the right opportunity. And I was just at a good age then, had played good amount of games. And there was just an opening at Schalke in the reserves that go play the 23s, you know, prove yourself and see what can happen. And I did. After 3 days I signed, so.
That's insane. Bro, some of the guys you played with is insane. I wrote them down just so I didn't forget any. Amin Harrit, is that how you say it?
Baller, yeah.
probably stupid good baller on
Yeah,
his day.
very
He's
good.
just inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds bad because I'm generalising him. Moroccans, bro, their wingers and tens on their day are freakish.
Yeah.
They're just too inconsistent.
Yeah, but they're just. I feel like Amin just had like a lot of bad injuries, but then also like, not to stereotype, but like a lot of those boys when they rise to like stardom quickly, they get big heads.
Yeah.
And like it's natural. Like it's hard to keep your feet on the ground. Like even I, you know, I had that when I went over there.
Yeah.
Like there was a period where like, wow, like you start to get a bit of money, like buying like nice clothes, like shoes, drive a nice car. So it's like, it's so quickly, like you can just go up. But then like you need some people in your life to keep you kind of level-headed, grounded. And I was lucky in that sense. But like, for example, like even like Nabil Bentaleb, like absolute baller, you know. I played with him too. Like a lot of these like big dogs, like the ones that had good careers and are still playing at a high level, the ones that were like consistent, like we said, but then at the same time, like they had good, I guess, belief in themselves, but they also were like level-headed.
Yeah. Bro, Conor Playanka, footballer on his day, eh?
Yeah, proper. Such a nice guy too, like top guy.
He was the original, besides Shevchenko, he was the original Ukrainian Dottie that I was like, wow. Because then came, nowadays you got the two boys at Girona. You got Dubrovic, is it?
Yeah.
And Tizhiganov. But before them was Yarmolenko. But before him, bro, I remember Conor Playanka was just this, like, he had the tracksuit.
Yeah, he's a proper like legend.
Was he a nightmare in training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sporadic. Like good low center of gravity, like turn you, like he can just kill you. Finishing, unbelievable. One of the best finishers I ever like trained with or seen. Like just like so techie. But you wouldn't realize it. Such a chill guy. But like they're the ones that just like
You kind of get it.
yeah, so good.
Yeah. Conor Playanka, Nastasic, we already touched on. For those listening who are familiar with George, tuning in for my part, I'm a Fiorentina diehard. Forza the Viola. Nastasic was my, I think he's probably the second or third captain I ever saw. After him was the story. Yeah, it's probably Nastasic. Bro, crazy centre back.
Yeah.
Gun. I want to ask about the first one here, Matondo. Bro, I remember him coming through. He was freakish.
Yeah.
Still is on his day. Why do you reckon he hasn't like gone on to like do what he should have?
I think it's a similar situation like with a lot of like young Aussies we're seeing now. Like they go to a big club, right? City.
Yeah.
Go on loan to like, I guess, not the wrong places, but they just don't settle into the culture.
Yeah.
And like going to Germany is like super tough. So like, I don't know how many loan moves he's probably had by now. But like, he just, like I said again, like he had that superstardom, like, bro, one of the fastest guys I ever played against.
Yeah.
Like, impossible to mark in training. If you give him a bit of space, like, he's gone. Like, don't even bother chasing. Like, rapid. But like, adjusting to German culture was like super hard for him. Like, the language, like, the food, like, just so different to what he's used to. Like, and he was super young too. So it's like, you chuck yourself out of like home and you go into a massive like culture shock. Like, it's going to be hard to like do your thing. And he had like, I guess that tag on him where he was like, you have to come and do well. So it was like he had all that external pressure as well, which I guess, yeah, a lot of boys, like even Azani had it when he left. Like, maybe it wasn't the right move to go and play in Scotland. Yeah. Who knows? Like, he had so many failed, I guess, loan moves that just didn't eventuate because he didn't adjust to the culture and he had that label on him and all of Australia's expecting him to do well. So
yeah,
I think that happens with a lot of boys. And like, yeah, Rabbi, unfortunately, he's still in that kind of boat too.
Yeah. The next guy, he left Schalke pretty early, went to Turkey. Freakish at Turkey considering the club he was at. Now he's at Coventry, Haji Wright. What was he like to play against, bro? He's in, you know what, bro? He had, out of all of Europe, so I follow the Championship because my best mate's a Baggies fan. And Coventry had Giorques last year.
Right.
I think he scored 30. And Haji was brought in as the replacement. It's like out of Europe in terms of strikers, replacing strikers this year. So that's some of the biggest shoes to fill considering they, missed out on the Premier League by a game. Pretty insane. He's good to play with.
Yeah. I got on really like well with him. Like obviously American, like biggest thing was sharing the language. So like we clicked right away. Like would hang out quite a lot, and he was like first team pro, but like he would play a lot with under 23s. So he was with us a lot. But yeah, he was a nightmare to play against. Like quick, fast, like just super strong. Like hold up play, unbelievable. Yeah. Like I saw him like at the start when I joined, and like he's just grown. Like catches games every now and then, and he's just improved crazy. But I guess that is like also an example where he went on a few failed loan moves in Germany, right? Yeah. Like didn't live up to the expectation. But then he went to Turkey and like absolutely bossed it.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen that like even when I was in Belgium, like Carl Larin, like striker, right? He's now at Mallorca, like killing it, La Liga, like playing week in, week out. So like he also didn't do too well in Belgium. Went to Turkey, went to Besiktas, like massive club, right? Yeah. Like done really well there, got a good move. So like I feel like the boys that persist and like believe in themselves and just keep grinding away, like they're the ones that are now, like you said, the ones that we're talking about, not really the ones who are kind of forgotten.
Yeah. What was Weston McKennie like?
Funniest guy, man. Like he's so funny. I got a funny story actually. So like obviously like in Australia, like weight, skin folds, like massive thing, right?
Yeah.
In Germany, it wasn't so big. They still trucked it, of course, but like it wasn't like the be all end all. So like a few boys that, you know, hung around together. So like me, Wes, Haji, and another boy, Nick. So we always like, we just had a thing, like I think it was every Thursday or Friday, we just go to like Subway after training. And we like, funnily enough, that's the first thing that I learned in German, how to like order a Subway like fully in German. So we go there, like that was our ritual, right? Yeah. And Wes was like, first time I went with him, right? He's ordering for all of us. Blah, 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 like says his order. At the end, you know how they ask you like, do you want drinks and cookie like in a meal?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I was still like learning the basics, but I understood like quite a lot. So like when I was listening to what he was saying, I kind of got it. Anyway, he goes to the lady, he's like, yeah, I have 12 cookies. And I was like, what? And I looked at Haji and I was like, is he taking the piss? But I swear to God, like within the next like couple of hours, those cookies, he ate them all by himself. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's serious? But like, then like you think, oh, weight and skin folds, like he's going to get smashed. Wes was like the fittest, the fastest, could jump the highest, played the best. The year that I was there and like those years, he was a gun. So like the coach turned around and he's like, well, like everyone like took the piss out of him. Like, oh, Wes ate 12 cookies. Like we'd go like chill at Haji's house or Nick's house or something. Like he'd be eating like lollies all the time. Like always just snacking, just like love this food, whatever. And like, I don't know if you watched the Juventus and like they were taking the piss out of him, like, you know, with the ranch sauce and like stuff like that. But like, that's just how he is. He's just a clown.
Yeah.
But like just loved his food. But like, it wasn't an issue because like, how can you question the guy? Like, obviously, like 12 cookies is a bit excessive.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, think about it. Those Subway cookies are like
they're big cookies,
1,000 calories like each or something. Like, guys eating 12 in a few hours. But like, he's just
worked for him, bro. Got that
he's just a clown. Yeah, I know.
That's
and
insane.
And he's like playing with Ronaldo and shit. Like,
yeah, he would have got there that year, eh?
Yeah, he did. So imagine that culture shock for him. Like, he's gone from eating 12 Subway cookies to fucking Ronaldo.
Yeah, because he went. Didn't he come out of college or something? There was talks of him, I remember back in the day. He came out of... Was Weston McKennie, like, where'd he come from before Schalke?
I think he was in, like, it's hard with a lot of Americans, they go over, like, really young. So, like, I think potentially he was playing, like, USL.
Yeah.
Similar to, like, Pulisic, right? And then got the move over. But, like, in the lead up in the few years, he was obviously, like, traveling to Germany before he was old enough to sign.
Yeah.
But then I think maybe he, like... I don't know how exactly it worked, but like his parents must have moved over with him to like settle because there's age restrictions and stuff. Like you have to be 18 or whatever to like sign professionally and play. So same with Pulisic, like all those guys, they're all boys. So yeah, crazy, insane, funny guy, man. Just like proper clown. Like how you see him is what you get, and it's just like it's so good because he's so authentic.
Yeah, must be refreshing in football, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Because there's no filter. Like he just says it how it is, and like. There's no bullshit kind of thing. Like you get what you get with him, but like you know what you're gonna get with him as well on the weekend. Like he's a fighter, man. Like He helped us so much that year that I was like there. He just like scored so many important goals, like done whatever he was asked. Like if he had to play centre back, right back, midfield, 10, like he played everywhere. Proper utility player. Like if they said going goals, he would have, because he just loves it. And I think like that's a really good mentality to have. And I learned like a lot of him from that.
Yeah, he played, bro, may as well while you mention it. Weston McKinney playing centre back. Your debut for Schalke. How many people are there? Bro, you got a mad smile on your face thinking about it.
65,000.
65,000 people. George Timotheou from Canberra, Australia walks out there. Bro, what is going through? I'm 24. Were you 20? No, you're 22 at the time.
21.
Insane.
No? Yeah, 21, I think.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah. Bro, what are you thinking? Bro, 65. I get nervous in front of 10 people at Redbacks. If I get a crowd up on that terrace. Bro, what are you thinking? What are you thinking when you walk out there and you see, especially Schalke, bro? Like, what a big club, eh? Like,
yeah, massive.
Yeah, what was
like? It's funny. I was saying to because I do a bit of coaching now, and I was saying to one of the kids the other day, like they were asking me about it. I said like it's so like weird to say, but like you prepare your whole life for this, right? Like ever since you're a young boy, you prepare like. You want to play in the Champions League, like you want to listen to that anthem, you want to play in front of big crowds. It's like I clearly remember like that morning of the game was the time I was told that I was playing. Went for team walk. Coach comes, puts his arm around me, says, "Kid, you're playing tonight." And it's like that's when I got nervous, right? Like from then on, it's like I was a chance to play, but like.
Do you reckon he did that on purpose so he didn't overthinking the
yeah, I think so. I think so. But it's funny how we said like with Nastasic, right? Like he played a whole season like beast. Had no issue like learning off him. He helped me so much, like second dad, older brother kind of thing with me. I clearly remember like the weeks leading up. So I was on the bench 6 times before the last game. Like sat on the bench against Frankfurt, Leverkusen, like Jovic was playing, like Havertz, Wirtz, like Julian Brandt, like all these like big ballers now, right? Like I was literally like from me to you away.
Yeah.
And like rubbing shoulders with these guys, learning off them. And I remember in the weeks leading up, Nastasic was like basically saying to me like, I really want you to play. And I was like, what do you mean? And like, I think it was maybe the week before, he said to me, he's like, I want you to play the last game. I was like, what do you mean? Like, you're not the coach. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to maybe tight hamstring. So he was looking out for me kind of thing, like tell the coach tight hamstring, like play the young kid kind of. And I was like, that's just crazy, right?
That's insane.
Like just like such a cool story like that. Like he looked out for me. He knew I deserved it. Like had obviously been training with them for like months on end. Like ever since the winter break, came back, was with them full time. Still playing 23s, but like full time with them, right? So I was like, I had an inkling that I was going to play, but it's not like, you don't believe it until the coach tells you. Even until you're playing, like until you're on the pitch, like anything can happen in between. Like when he told me on the walk at the hotel, it's like, wow, like that's when I got nervous, right? But when I tell you, the second I walked out on the pitch for the warm-up, gone. I was so locked in. I was so in the zone. And it's like, how? Like when people ask me like, no way, like you're lying. I'm like, I'm not. Like I legitimately, when I went out for the warm-up, got my first touch on the ball, I was in the zone. I couldn't hear 65,000 people.
You kind of drowned it out.
Yeah, I did not hear a thing. The next time I heard something was like maybe in the first 5-10 minutes, right? Slide tackle, nice tackle on the line, this close away from the fans, start clapping and stuff, like for me, for the tackle. And I'm like, that's when I was like, wow, like
this is insane.
This is insane, right? And like so much went on in that game, like disallowed goals, like Mario Gomez broke my toe, like just so much shit happened in that game. It was just like the most incredible like culmination of so many years of hard work, like bottled into like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Kept a clean sheet, like played really well, like just like didn't have time to be nervous kind of thing. Like just did my thing. Like I said, so many years dreaming of that moment and I got my chance. So I said like, let's take it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could have gone off at half time. Like literally took my boot off. Doctor's like, yeah, your toe's broken. I said, well, okay, give me some like Panadol or something. Took it, went out for second half. Was throbbing, killing. Like, this is my Bundesliga debut. Like, no chance I'm not going off. Like, they'll have to drag me off. There's no way, like, and I played the rest of the game and, yeah, was in the moon for 6 weeks after that. Yeah, it's mental.
Right, some of the players on that day. So Weston McKinney, we mentioned earlier, playing right centre back. The man next to you, also very illustrious career, Stambuli. I always watched him as a centre mid, but it's cool to see him go to centre back as he got like a bit older. Other Schalke boys that I've already mentioned, obviously in the team. Stuttgart, 3 names I wanted to mention, or four. World Cup winner Pavard is at right back, so you probably didn't have too much to do with him. Yeah,
not too much. Yeah, he tried a few through balls, but I managed to intercept him.
Yeah, that's bad. But that goal against Argentina is just stupid. Wow. Mario Gomez, complete legend of the game. Even in his older years, bro, we had him at Fiorentina. Still had it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Didavi, what was he like, bro? Because I reckon around that time, he was a bit of a problem. I remember him watching, I'll be honest, bro, because of FIFA, you kind of know what's going on. And then I remember, like, taking note of Didavi at some point in time. Was he kind of hot around 2019?
Yeah, 100%.
And then a man I noticed at the time, little did I know, would go on to be the icon of my life, is Nico Gonzalez. What was it like marking those 3 like that I mentioned? Mario Gomez, Didavi, Nico.
Mario Gomez was like just number one. Like, he knew young boy playing. He's on my hit list because that's just the experience that we're talking about. Like, he doesn't care if it's the last game of the season. Like, don't forget, Stuttgart are avoiding relegation.
Yeah.
So that game meant a lot to them. They had to win. So it's like, sure, as Schalke, we were safe. Coach was like, give the young kid a chance, let him play. Like, he deserved it, blah, blah, blah. But like to Mario Gomez, his mentality, like I said, first 5 minutes, he's holding me off. He steps like back into me, breaks my toe on purpose, turns around in German. He said, have fun with that. Like, he knew what he was doing. So it's like there was that malice, how we're talking about like Ramos before, like there's like that little bit of like, you know, dirty player, like, but he was going to do anything to win that game. So he thought, oh, I'll take out the centre back. Perfect. Like, it's his debut. They'll keep him on, blah, blah, blah. He won't want to go off. So he thought I would crumble. All these players, like, they were so up for the game. Whereas, like, for Schalke, it was like, okay, it's at home, last game of the season. Like, doesn't mean anything. Sure, every football game means something. But, like, for Stuttgart, it had that heightened kind of...
Yeah, because Schalke finished, what, like 12th?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not much.
I think it maybe even lower, like 15th or something out of 18. So, like, they were just above relegation too.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it was just, like, these guys you, like, look up to growing up, like Mario Gomez, like Pavard was obviously a bit younger, but, like, everyone in that team, like, was just so techie, like, just such good players. And it's, like, I felt like I was an outsider. I was, like, yes, I have deserved this, but, like, in the moment in the game, it's, like, it was going a million miles an hour, like, these guys knocking the ball around, forward run here, there, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't get, like, half a second.
Yeah.
Like, literally half a second. Like, everything is so fast-paced.
Is it kind of, you don't really get time to think, you're more acting on, like, muscle memory and things like that?
Yeah.
You just kind of instinctually...
It's almost like what happened to me, like, I was running off adrenaline, but, like, that spurred me on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I had to step up because it was like, I noticed in the first 5 minutes, like, I'm not going to get a second, like my natural game is like to play nice passes, whatever, like play out from the back. But like I had to do that even quicker than what I'm used to. Like already going and training with Schalke first team was like a million miles an hour quicker. Then going to play in an actual game, that's when I knew like, wow, this fitness and this like level is just levels above.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, like you said, muscle memory, like doing everything you've done a million times before, but just faster.
Yeah.
And just like, I guess, trusting yourself and, yeah, riding through the wave kind of thing.
Yeah, bro, that's insane. It's so insane to think about, eh?
It is. And only to think like it was, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Bro, I was, because watching on the weekend, you can tell like you like to kind of have the ball type of thing. But yeah, thinking about like that press that Stuttgart would have and that like defensive line they had. Because, bro, who would have their centre backs have been back in that day?
Badstuber, I think.
Yeah, Donny. Russian Donny, eh? No? I think he ended up playing for Russia.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
He was another guy.
Because Badstuber was a Bayern reject or no?
Dortmund maybe.
Yeah, I remember he was somewhere, and then he went to like Turkey or something.
Yeah, something strange like that.
Yeah.
But like you look throughout their whole team, like really good players. Like
Yeah.
can't imagine how they're like battling relegation. Like had a gun keeper, like across the board, like, and even like we said off the bench. Like I was marking Alexander Esfine, one of the fastest players in Bundesliga, right? Top speed of like something
Crack
stupid.
FIFA card, eh? Do you remember?
Yeah.
That silver card?
Yeah, just hit that, hit the analog stick, kick and run, man. Like that was his thing. But literally, that's how he played too. Yeah. He's just so fast. Like I spoke about Rabbi before, but like Alexander Esfine, like that guy is wow.
What are you thinking when you verse a player like Esfine or Rabbi in training, Matondo, in terms of like if they've got the ball and because you're playing in a 3-back, right?
Yeah, at the
you're
start,
playing.
yeah.
Were you playing left side or right side?
Left side, yeah.
So say you're trying to face them. Do you want to face them outwards? Or do you want to kind of, or does bringing them inwards kind of slow them down almost as well because they're running into traffic?
I think like we're taught, and what helped was forcing them wide because we obviously tried to delay and we get our left and right wing backs back to help us.
Who
kind
was
of thing.
yours in the Schalke game?
Or Chipka.
He's all right, you know.
Yeah,
he had a good
player.
year. He had a good
Yeah.
few years there.
He got this bad groin injury, I think, right before I came, and he was battling that. But the years before, I remember just hearing about Schalke, like basically the year before when they qualified for Champions, they came second, won DFB, all those things. Like he was like massive in that.
Yeah.
Like he was really, really good. And I even looked up to him, but like I think he struggled with coming back from that injury that year. But like still such a good player. Like really level-headed, like really calm, kind of experienced guy. But like, yeah, going against those fast players, it's like you have to give yourself room. Like you can't mark them tight. It's impossible. It's like if they say go mark Mbappe. Like what are you going to do? Stay tight on him? No chance. You have to give yourself room.
Yeah.
Like you'd rather him running at the ball with you because maybe that's not their strength. So like Esfine, like I have no issue like with him dribbling, right? But you allow yourself room. You basically do everything that you're taught and force them wide. So like those moments when like maybe you're in a foot race, you're 5-10 meters, you know, you have that safety kind of zone where you can catch up to him. Like I wasn't slow, and like it's funny that we say like about speeds. Like I wasn't allowed to train with the first team until I hit a certain speed.
Oh, insane! So is that like a thing over there?
Yes. So like we
How
do.
the fuck was Mertesacker a centre back for 20 years?
I don't know. Obviously, every club's different.
Yeah.
But Schalke just operated on our centre backs need to be able to hit X time over 30 meters.
Yeah, right.
So every, you know, couple weeks, months, we do like this fitness testing where we do like, you know, the light kind of gates where you run through and they collect your time.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
So they're like
We don't
little
have that at Red
poles.
Backs, but I know
Yeah.
what you're talking
I'm surprised you don't. But like they have those light gates and you run through them. They obviously record your time all hooked up to laptop, whatever.
Yeah.
So we were doing that. So they were keeping track. And it's just crazy that like I was killing it with the 23s, but the thing that they were worried about was hitting that score.
What do you remember by any chance what it was over 30 meters that they were trying to get you to do?
Yeah, it was like 3 point something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. That's insane.
Yeah. I think it was literally like 3.1 or something.
Yeah.
Or I think it was under 3.2. Something stupid like that. Yeah, mental. So they do like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But like the main one was the 30. And then they do change of direction stuff too.
Yeah.
Just mental. Like when I went over there, it was just such an eye-opener to like what goes on in the background.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you're not allowed to train with the first team unless you do that. So I could be scoring hatties every week, keeping clean sheets. I could keep 30 clean sheets and I won't be allowed to train because of your speed.
Standards.
Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah. The year before you came, who would have been there? Was Howard still there?
Maybe, yeah.
Because he... And Mustafi, surely.
So many guys were still there. Like Tilo Kera was there. Kolasinac would have probably just left.
Yeah, I remember
A
him,
lot of
yeah.
these like big dogs.
Who was your keeper? Coble? Or Newell?
Fairman. Ralph Fairman. And
He's still kicking out, I
and
think.
what's his name? Yeah.
Newell, was it? Was that who was in goals on your Stuttgart? Yeah, bro. He's a good keeper as well.
Very good.
Yeah, he's done a good
But
career.
again, same thing. Like went to Bayern,
Yeah.
tried to be like the next Neuer,
Didn't work.
didn't live up to it. Now he's
Yeah.
where? Not Benfica. He's in.
I'm going to get that right. I don't know if it's Newell goalkeeper.
He's in France?
Monaco, maybe?
Monaco.
He's back at Stuttgart.
Is he?
Oh, so he's done the switch since you played with him. Played for the other team, yeah. Schalke, Bayern, Monaco. Bro, he had a good crack at Monaco. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then, Stuttgart.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Now, after Schalke, bro, that's such it's just an insane story. How you even got there.
Yeah.
You go to Zulte Wegrem. Is that how you say it?
Whatever you want.
Much of a muchness. Zulte
Wegrem, yeah.
Oh, holy shit, I was far off.
Same shit.
We'll say Zulte. So you went to Zulte.
Yeah.
And there's two guys there that I took note of. Carlisle Laren, I knew about. So, long story short, there's a thing called Turkish to go up in the mountains, snackbacks, all that. All those boys, Besiktas boys.
Yeah, right.
So when you were there that year after, I'm pretty sure it was massive news that Cole Laren signed. Yes. So I remember looking for, because bro, I was 155, so I was there most days, right? Like just pounding snack packs. So I was there at the shop and we were looking at his highlights for Zulte or whatever. And yeah, I remember lining it up and being like, oh, like there's an Aussie that played with him. It's you, funnily enough. The other guy who was so cracked for one full season of his career was Saido Berahino. And you ended up there with him. Because you would have been a young kid watching him at Stoke.
Yes.
Stoke that year.
Yeah. Sunderland as well, maybe?
I think his big year was at Stoke.
Yeah, it must have been, yeah.
You know who he reminds me of? Peter Odemwingie. Similar. Just 1 year where he's just cracked and then he just got figured out and he...
One hit wonder.
Bro, yeah. Like even like Michu. Michu was a bit better in the peak season, but...
But Saido was just like... Saido had no discipline.
I've heard that.
The problems he was having in England, he brought it to Belgium, right? Like, first experience with him, took my car, went out. Like, we were staying in the same hotel together, didn't have a car yet, right? He just took my car. Like, he's like, oh, I left something in the car, like, oh, like, because I took him home from training.
Yeah.
Guy comes back at like 4 a.m. Racked up fines, like, alcohol in the car, like, yeah. The guy was just like, he was off the rails. Something going on, like, I don't know. Like, so much shit had gone on in his life. Like we said before, live up to the expectation, like, next big thing. Yeah. Like, there's that viral clip when he chipped the keeper in the England under-21s training. Like, just shit like that. Like, he just rose to starter and just, like, fizzled out.
Oh,
but,
insane.
But, like, he had a good preseason. There was, like, good things going on that year at Zulte, right? And just, like, yeah, I guess the discipline got the better of him and didn't want to, I guess, adhere to the standards or whatever. And he was just a party boy, like, just wanted to have fun, like, just wanted to, like, stuff around and do his own thing. No one could tell him anything. Just, like, yeah, ill discipline.
Were you there with the Hazard boys?
Not at Zulte, no.
Weren't the younger ones there?
Yeah.
Not Thorgan. Who's the other one?
The other one was at Cercle Bruges when I was in Belgium.
Yeah, but there's 4 of them, isn't there? But the 4th one never cracked it out.
I can't remember.
But was Thorgan at Zulte?
Yeah, but not when I was there.
And is Eden a product of Zulte?
I don't think so.
Right. Cause I don't know.
I know Thorgan was,
I
think the other brother was, the third brother.
Yeah.
But he was at Cercle the year that I was there. But, like, similar players, like, so techie.
Yeah.
The third brother was, I think, more like Eden Hazard. And Thorgan kind of had his own...
Thorgan was very defensive. He was good on the...
he was really...
When he played for Dortmund, bro, out wide, he was so good for them.
Yeah. Underrated player.
Yeah, he kind of dropped off a bit. But there was like a year, I remember I'd watch him, he'd play like left or right, and then Witzel would cover the inside of him. And then you'd have like Emre Can at centre-back, or I don't think Hummels had come back yet at that time. Maybe he did. Maybe Sula on that side. And, bro, they just, wasn't honoured to watch. But his brother, Eden was freakish. But I remember one of them being there at one point. I just don't know if it lined up with yours. What was being in Belgium like? How'd you find that? You enjoy it?
No, not at all. Lifestyle, unbelievable. Football,
where is it in terms of like...
So where I was on the French border, so very close to Lille. So I was like 30 minutes from Lille, like drive, right? So like me and the missus were always like trying to get our time, like days off, go to Lille, get the train, Lille to Paris, an hour. Like so cool. So cool living in Europe, like even when I was in Germany, when I was in Belgium, like go one day to Amsterdam, like 2.5 hours. Yeah. Like, you just like country hopping and it's just so cool. But I mean, like, the lifestyle in Belgium was unbelievable. But the football was probably like one of the worst I've experienced because of politics, because of like a lot of like dodgy stuff that went on in the backgrounds with agents, and it wasn't the right move for me. But I listened to the wrong people, and it just hurt me in the end. It was the first time where like I saw like probably a good amount of money in my career. So like that's when I was introduced to like a proper first professional contract in Europe, right? Sign-on bonuses, like going out, like living a bit more lavish lifestyle. Like the place I was living, like the club paid for it, driving Mercedes. So like all these things, like how I was saying before, like even I was starting to like, my feet were getting off the ground, like going into the clouds. And I think I had to go through the hard way to like bring me back down to earth. So it was like, yeah, like I said, driving Mercedes, like I didn't live in a mansion, but like if you saw it, you'd be like, wow, like you're living good kind of thing. Like bought nice designer clothes, like shoes, like all this like stupid shit now that means nothing. Like I don't even have half the stuff anymore, right? But it's just like I had to go through that. And every football, like when you go over, like falls into that trap. Like when they see money, like of course, like you want to go and enjoy it. Like what else is it for? Like me and my missus went to Paris, went to Amsterdam, like blew so much money over there, like just having a good time. But I would rather do that than go and buy like clothes and shit like that. But I mean, like I said, I shouldn't have gone. I should have trusted my gut and listened to the right people in my inner circle and stayed in Germany. Like there was a whole restructure the next year with the coaches, and like Wagner came in, right? Basically told me to my face like that I wasn't in the plans. But like I should have said like, they offered me a professional contract, like, and I turned it down because I was just so young and naive. And I guess what I probably should have done was stayed, gone back for pre-season. Worst case, they send me on loan. But like the place they would have sent me on loan would have been at a good club, right?
Yeah, German second division or something.
German second division, go to Holland. Like the coach that gave me my debut, Hoop Stevens, like he was like proper legend, man. Like if you could only understand how much that guy meant in Germany, in Holland, like proper legend. I had him ringing me personally to say like, can I help you get a move?
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, but he saw so much potential in me. He literally told me, he said, George, like if you keep going the way you're going, you could play for Real Madrid. And that was no joke. Why would he need to say that? He wasn't pumped. There was no money in it for him. Yeah. He just literally saw like a diamond in the rough, and he gave me my chance. He worked with me for 6 months, basically. Extra training, like stayed back with him, pulled me into the office all the time. Like it sounds bad, but you know when coaches have their favorites?
Yeah.
He just had.
I am the coach.
He just had a liking to me, right?
Yeah.
And he just like, and it was like a little project, and he gave me the reward at the end. He let me play the last game, right? And I should have listened. Like I should have let him help me, but I listened to the wrong people, and I went to Belgium, and shit went wrong with agents. Coach and agent were like this, right? Yeah. Didn't want to sign with that agent. What's happened next? George is training on the side. Yeah. 6 months training on the side. What the fuck? And then what? Like, how are you going to get a move after doing nothing for 6 months? I haven't played a game. Playing like reserves, like no chance.
Insane, eh?
Yeah.
What was that like for you, bro? Going from a Bundesliga debut and within months that, because of an agent and manager thing, you've been exiled from a Belgian squad and all of a sudden you're playing reserves in Belgium again. Yeah. How was that feeling?
It's just like, it was almost a good thing, but like in hindsight, it's like that brought me back down to earth. That made me hungry to like, I guess, prove everyone wrong, but also like, it was super hard and super frustrating because like I said, my lifestyle was unbelievable. Like I didn't want to leave Belgium because it was just, I just had it so nice. Like my partner was over there with me. Like, just like, it can, in football, like I speak to so many people, it's so hard to have that balance. So in Germany, my lifestyle was disgusting. I'd lived in a shoebox. Like I hated it there. The city that I lived in was like voted the worst in Germany. Like it's an old mining town, and it's like a lot of.
Schalke's not like a good city. Is it?
No,
It's in Dortmund.
Yeah,
right?
very close. Gelsenkirchen was the city. And right, like a lot of like Turkish immigrants, like very poor, a lot of homeless like people there, right?
Did you play with, speaking of Turkish in that city, did you ever play with Kabak?
No.
Ah, so you would have just missed him, eh?
Yeah, I think the year after.
He had a cracker year one year,
Yeah,
right?
he
That's how he
did.
got to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue on. So yeah, that city's not the nicest.
Nah, and it was just like, so football was the best that it's ever been in my career. I can say that safely. But my lifestyle was probably one of the lowest.
Yeah, wow.
You know, left all my family like in Australia, everyone, to go chase a dream. But like I did so well and I was so locked in that I grinded through it. If I had stayed, my lifestyle could have improved. I would have gone and lived in Dusseldorf. I would have had my partner over with me and like things would have just been better. Like money does help. Like you can live in a nicer place. You can increase your lifestyle. But I mean, then what happens the year after? Maybe I'm not playing anymore. So like then the football goes back down, lifestyle's here. So it's all about finding that balance and I guess like compromise. But then at the same time, like, yeah, it's so hard to have have them level.
It'd be fucking heaps hard.
Yeah.
After Belgium, how come you came back home?
I think like I was homesick for one, for sure, because I just had a bad experience in Belgium. But at the same time, like I just knew that I needed to play, and that club were just like in Belgium they just exiled me. So it was like how hard would it be to get a loan move? Like what's the point in going and playing Belgium's second division? Like I just didn't see much point to it, and I thought like kill two birds with one stone. Like I'm missing Australia. Like part of me still wishes like I stuck it out, like gone somewhere else, or had my agent find me something else in Europe or whatever. But I think the club were adamant on like sending me out on loan, getting some game time, seeing how I'm going, blah blah blah. But then at the same time, like the situation of the club was what it was. Like I was exiled because like I pissed them off in a way because of stupid agents and like shit behind the scenes that didn't mean anything, right? And he was like, I kind of just wanted to escape. And I thought like, let's just go back to Australia, like go back to where I'm comfortable. And yeah, that's when the move came up in at Western United.
Did you go to Western? I thought you went to Adelaide.
So I went to Western, failed my medical, had heart surgery.
Bro, I didn't even realise that. What? So you had heart surgery?
Yeah.
How's that? Like, what?
So I was born with a congenital heart disease called, it's bicuspid aortic valve. So basically, when we're all born, in our aorta, we have a valve, and it's like a leaflet basically. So it's like a tricuspid valve. It opens, closes, like that. Blood in and out towards the rest of the body. But I was born with bicuspid, so two. So I had two leaflets opening, closing, opening, closing. So it could be fine. Whole life could be like that. A lot of athletes potentially could have it. I know like one really famous cyclist had it. When his whole career, like no issue, right? Knew about it when I first joined Sydney FC. Routine medical check, echocardiogram. They see it. But they're like, okay, let's just keep an eye on it like it's not an issue. Your heart's actually fine, right?
Was this before or after now off?
Before.
Insane. Insane foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
For those listening, Chris Naumoff, bro, fuck, where did he sign? Second division Spain, you reckon?
Yeah. International or something. Something like that.
I'm going to just double check. Anyway.
I hope I'm right there. Something, I don't know.
Good footballer. This is when I hated City FC as well.
Proper baller he was.
Yeah. As a kid, bro, as Western Sydney boy, I hated them.
Numancia, yes.
It's like his last name. But yeah, he was this guy, left edge, eh? Was it left edge or was he come back onto the right sometimes?
Yeah.
Great footballer.
Yes.
Anyway.
Such a good shot.
At the time, we weren't exporting many Australians in terms of football. He signed for a Spanish second division side, did the medical, they came back, and there was major heart issues that had been overlooked by Sydney. So, yeah, kind of like foreshadowing from your end, brother.
It's crazy because, like, obviously when you hear about, like, heart conditions, so, like, what happened to Ericsson, like, what happened to the Luton centre back, like, Lockyer. Like
If he plays again, bro, that's
so
twice.
like that's twice, right?
Yeah.
But Ericsson is like, I think Daily Blind as well.
Yeah.
He had something. So it's like, in my story, right? It was a structural problem. I got surgery and fixed it. I was able to return to sport. Medically was cleared. Kiki was like, I think his was either an electrical issue in his heart, which like didn't allow him to return. So it was such a risk that they couldn't take. They couldn't medically clear him. So a lot of players have a hole in the heart, or like issues that cannot be fixed, essentially.
It's insane, eh?
So like, yeah, I knew about it when I was 17, right? When you're like, obviously technology is advanced, but like now in football, like you do a medical, they check. Like you're paying a lot of money for players and their well-being. Like it's like a workplace thing as well. Like they need to know, like, is this guy going to collapse on the pitch, kind of thing. So every club I'd been to, like, they knew about my heart condition. I told them it wasn't something to hide, because I knew that when I went to do the scan, it would show up. So in the space, so think about it. Schalke, July 2018.
Yeah.
Joined the club, did a medical, everything. No problem, sweet. Fit as a fiddle. July 2019, when I signed in Belgium, very similar reports, very similar. Heart condition, knew about it, whatever. January 2020, so in the space of 6 months, right?
Yeah.
My condition had accelerated to a point where I was told, you will never play football again. You will be a couch potato. You don't, like, I was in a doctor's office, like, when I went to Western United, I went into the doctor's office, cardiologist's office, said, like, you do not train. Like, do not step on a football pitch. You will never step on a football pitch ever again, because your heart is enlarged. So how I said before about the leaflet, right? So it's opening and closing, but now it was reopening. So it was regurgitating that shit blood that's supposed to exit. So my heart was super enlarged. Risk of heart attack. I could have been walking up the steps and I just collapsed and died. Like, that's how scary and how close I was to, like, having something fatal happen. So it was a blessing. Like, everything happens for a reason, man. I believe in God. Like, I came back to Western to get game time. They found they found an accelerated heart condition, but in the space of 6 months. So it's like, I always question, like, when I was in Belgium, like, what happened? Like, or was it the reporting when I was overseas? Was it different to how they did it here? Like, what they look for, is it different? Like, how in 6 months can I accelerate a condition? Later finding out, though, that it can happen, like, within 3 days.
That's insane.
Like, yeah, it's just so crazy how things can change.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a massive, massive shock. I had found out 3 days before that, like, my now wife was pregnant with our first kid. So, like, imagine chucking all this shit, like, on my plate. I clearly remember leaving that doctor's office. I had all my stuff in Melbourne. I was, like, literally about to play that weekend for Western. And I remember just getting in the car, driving to the airport. I cried the whole way. Like, I was, like, I could not believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Got on the first flight back to Sydney. Like,
Fuck.
Yeah, crazy.
On,
proper crazy.
Fuck. And then you end up at Adelaide.
Yep.
That was kind of, you did all right there, I reckon.
Yeah.
There's a few good years there.
Yeah.
What was the... You fell short to Sydney?
Sydney, yeah. Sydney first year.
Bobo Sydney,
year.
huh?
Yeah.
Good striker, man.
Yeah, very good.
I fucking...
Played with him when I was at Sydney.
Yeah, true. See, I cannot state this enough. I fucking hate Sydney FC and everything about that club. Bro, when I say Bobo's one of those guys that was right, like, when you talk about international signings, bro.
Gun.
Probably one of the most accurate of all time in this country. Like, take away, like, Shinji Ono.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Bro, that guy. Like,
underrated.
Terror to
Underrated.
defenses, man.
Yeah, really good.
He looked very strong. Like, when you're at a game.
Nah, beast.
Yeah, he looked like he could hold two if he wanted
100%.
to. Yeah, he was just this big.
Yeah, like I said, underrated, man. Like, that guy was strong, could finish.
Yeah.
Like, his GA was, like, unbelievable.
Where did he come from?
Besiktas. Oh no, he was in.
No, I think he did.
I don't know if it was straight from Besiktas. He might have been in Brazil, but him and Holosko. Remember Philip Holosko?
He was good, bro.
Another baller.
Slavia Prague boy.
Yeah. Besiktas too. Both of them were there.
Yeah, there we go. Besiktas. Yeah, Brazilian club, Turkish club again. Gremio, then Sydney.
Yeah.
Bro, 42 goals, 57 games in Sydney.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
insane. But Besiktas, bro, 60 goals, 140 games.
That's pretty good.
That's insane. And then he came back to Sydney in 21-22, 17 goals in 43 games.
Yeah, he did come back, didn't he?
He's 39 now. Wow.
Is he still playing?
No, it doesn't say
I can't imagine he's
retired. It just doesn't say
Yeah,
as a
still
club.
Yeah, right.
He's always welcome at Redbacks. Always pitch my shot. Bro, who do we have that thought about lacing up the boots? Oh, bro, we had a former pro. Someone, I can't remember who it was. Oh, fuck. Oh, someone mentioned Tommy Orr. Apparently Tommy Orr's playing like Prems. So like you have like Sunday League, but Sunday League clubs have a Prem side. They play on the Saturday night, and then you have above Prems NPL 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, gotcha.
Prems isn't paid or anything. They still will pay for Rego, but
Really? Tommy Orr's paying for Rego.
I'd imagine he isn't. I'd imagine Tommy Orr's the exception to the rule. But bro, some guy messaged me. He goes, "Hey bro, I'm playing at the same club as Tommy Orr." He goes like, "Oh, watch your content." Like a lot of the boys watch your content. He's like, "Honestly, you should reach out to Tommy Orr."
Wow.
So it might.
That would
reach
be
out.
sick.
Yeah, he's bro. Guess how old he is?
37?
32.
No, he's not.
Tommy Orr's 32.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is, man.
32.
Tommy Orr.
What is he doing?
Bro, he peaked so young.
Yeah, 100%.
Tommy Orr. All right, yeah. Born in 1991.
No way.
10th of December 1991. Unless he's lying. Yeah, this is his thing. Brisbane Raw 2007 debut.
Yeah, wow.
And then, yeah, Utrecht, Ipswich, Upwell, yeah, MacArthur. But yeah, apparently it's worth trying to reach out to him.
Do it.
I should, eh?
Yeah.
You're always welcome if you...
When I hang up.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6 years.
Oh,
Maybe when I'm
longer,
his
bro.
age, I'll be like, yeah, Redbacks, let's go.
Yeah, blacks and red back. At Adelaide, you played with Yangi and Nestori. A lot of people talk about Nestori at the moment, obviously. With Yangi, bro, I still think like... Have you been watching the Asian Cup? Should be playing.
Yeah, 100%.
In my personal opinion. I think you don't have to speak because you're obviously a professional footballer. I think before the World Cup, didn't want Arnie in. After the World Cup, obviously gets my... I still think he can keep the job even if we get knocked out at the Asian Cup. Deserves it for the World Cup performance. However, when you go to a World Cup and you take a guy from J2, with all due respect, and you take Martin Boyle and you play them and you have Yangi, Sam Silvera sitting on the bench, it makes no sense to me. Yangi at Wanderers is one of my favourite players I've ever watched play for us. When you played with him at Adelaide, because I remember at Adelaide, everyone knew he had it. It was just it was a bit raw, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
When you played with Yangi, could you see that he had that potential to go on and do it?
100%.
Yeah.
His issue was getting his body right. Niggle after niggle, injury, rush back. Like, Cassini's such a big personality, right? He thinks that like love him, like good mates with him, right? But he overthinks. He thinks that like he's never doing enough. So he has a really good mentality, but he's in that mindset that like I can be doing more. So like the guy's injured, but like still working out, like overdoing it. So this is why he comes back. Like how many hamstring injuries like he had, I can't tell you. Like I'm not joking. He would come back on the pitch, be ready to play again, do one sprint in the warm-up, he's done, out for 3 months. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this poor guy, right? But strong mentality, man, like really driven. And like that's helped him get to where he is now because he's persisted, like done really well at Wanderers. Yeah? Did well at Adelaide, but he obviously just wanted to try something different. And now he's at, Ipswich?
Portsmouth.
No, it's Ipswich, Portsmouth.
Yeah,
sorry.
Massimo and Burgess.
Burgess,
Ipswich.
sorry.
Nestori. Talk of the town. I don't think I've ever seen a kid in world football finish like he does at his age.
That's raw. That's what we talk about as raw.
Yeah.
Like sporadic, but tech. Like He's so good.
So you played with him on his debut, right?
Yep.
And you're obviously training with him. So there's a lot we
I
don't
saw
see.
him from day one, before all this stuff came out. Before, like, I saw him in the youth. I saw him under 15.
Did you think it would be Bayern?
Yeah.
So you thought like that level of club would come?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What made you think that? Like, what was it about him?
His age, man. He's 15. He's taking the piss out of 34, 30-year-olds. Players in their prime, right? Like, he's, like, on his day, like, you know, like, play a bit of cage, like, boxes, whatever. Like, that guy, you cannot mark him.
Yeah.
Every touch, on his day, cannot touch him. Impossible to mark, cannot stop his shot, cannot stop him. He's so rapid, so low to the ground, low center of gravity, like, can turn you. Like, I haven't seen anything like that, right? I haven't.
My next question, as a footballer yourself, who's played in the Bundesliga, when people talk about him and they don't necessarily know too much football, but they obviously know about this. This is like the biggest news we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I say there's an idea, a possibility that this kid goes over and he doesn't play up front. He plays at right wing back.
Right.
Because of Alfonso, what they did to Alfonso. Because I remember a beanie of all people was the winger in front of Davies at Vancouver. And then Davies was next to Davies. Davies playing like inside forward, left winger. Goes to Bayern, becomes a left back. The thing about Nestor is I don't think his defending is too crash hot.
No, it's not.
But his shooting is on a different level.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll keep him up top of the pitch, or do you reckon they'll do what they do with other youngsters and they'll move him around to fit into the puzzle?
I think with him, it's like you have to keep him in that position. I think he needs to stay up top. He needs to be a winger.
Do you reckon he could go up front?
I promise you, like, if he fixes up here, he's still young. Don't get me wrong. But if he fixes upstairs, he could play. Like, no joke. I've played in the Bundesliga, right? He could play starting 11 Bayern Munich. Like, he has such potential. Like, who's playing now at Bayern? Coman, Leroy Sané. Like, Nestori is he's at their level, but probably 5-10 years younger than them. Yeah. He's so good. But it's about managing him. It's about, like I said, he's so raw. He's so sporadic. Like, remember what happened against Victory? Like, how he got sent off. His emotions get the better of him. And unfortunately, like, when you go to the top, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
He's going to get more hate. He's going to get more expectation. Like, now there's expectation on him, right? Like, everyone knows he's going to Bayern. It's all announced now. So it's like, he doesn't have to prove anymore, but he probably feels like he has to.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's that aspect of, like, the sky's the limit for him. Like, when he played the All-Stars against Barca, like him and Garang was saying, like, they want to play for Barca one day. And, like, Nesta is probably the one that I've seen that can legitimately, like, go to the top. Like, you see these memes, like, you know, young kid from Brazil, like Endrick. Like, what's the difference between him and Nesta?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nesta's probably better. But because he's from Australia, like, there's no price tag like that on him. If he was in Brazil or France or Germany, he'd be sold for 50 mil, 40 mil, whatever. It's just crazy, like, that we have something and someone like that on our shores.
You saw similar with like someone like Neuenhoff last year. I was saying, like, bro, any other country, that guy's going for like 10, 20 mil. And he's not going to Scotland, I tell you that much. Like, that guy last year, man, he was one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, he was.
Same with Bacchus. Like, it's just so similar. Yeah. Any other country, but Australia just has this stigma from our own people and from international as well.
But Nestor is a different breed.
Yeah, I'm keen to watch it unfold.
This like, raw potential that he has, and just the ability to change games, and, like, when have you seen a shot like that from a kid his age, and, like,
at those angles as well? Just
the pace, the raw pace that he has, the strength, like. But I guess that comes with, like, the baggage of, like, it's raw. He doesn't know how. Like, when I was there, like, at Adelaide, he got suspended from school because he punched a kid. So it's like, you know, he got in a fight with a kid, said something the wrong way, and, like, he just reacted.
Yeah.
So, like, he's still a child. Like, he's still a kid. People still treat him like he's 27. Like, he's so young. He still hasn't lived, really. He's been chucked into, like, a professional environment where, like, he's grown up with, like, a lot of hardship and, I guess, stuff that, yeah, it's not really preparing him for professional football.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure his parents are from Burundi.
Yeah.
But he grew up in Tanzania,
Something like that, yeah.
in a refugee camp, and then came over at a real young age, which is insane, bro. It's an insane story. And then he was like at Adelaide, Croatia, and they picked him out.
Mm-hmm.
What was he, 14 or 15 at the time?
14.
Yeah, bro. I feel, yeah. You just hope the kid gets like nurtured, you know.
It's so hard because it's like he needs a mentor, right?
Yeah.
He needs to go to Bayern and like they treat him not like Garang. Like, him and Garang are so different, right? Like, you go to a big club like Newcastle, but, like, he never trained once with the team, did he? No, he went straight on loan. So it's like, Nesta is just, levels above. He can do it. He just even like Pavlicic now, keeper, like, training first team at Bayern. Like, it's similar to my story kind of thing, like, start in the younger age, work your way up. But Nesta can just go straight. I'm telling you, he's so good. Yeah. But he needs to be like handled.
Needs good people around him.
Yeah, he needs good people. He needs that inner circle to look after him.
Oh, fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, do you watch the Prem much?
Yeah.
Do you watch Newcastle often?
Sometimes.
When you watch Isaac and Gordon, fucking even Almiron.
Yeah.
Almiron's so shit, but God, he works hard. But those guys, when you watch them, in my head when I watch it, I go to, like, Gordon's a bit different. Isaac, I think...
I love Isaac.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I think Isaac's freakish. Almiron, but, yeah. God bless him, but he works hard, bro. He works so hard for that ball when he loses it. When I watch them, I go, I think Garang could play a part in this squad because he's not too far off them in stylistic ways.
Yeah.
Obviously, the quality is a bit of a gap. Garang's fucking 18 from Central Coast. Like, he's going to take his time. But, bro, do you think Garang could slot into that squad, not the 11? Or
I think he could, but I think it will take a lot longer than what it would take Nesta. Like, I feel like Garang just doesn't have that natural, I guess, ability that Nesta has. Yeah. Like, he's very raw and he's very good, don't get me wrong. But Nesta, like, I'm preaching on about him, but, like, he's just so far above and so beyond, like, what anything we've ever seen. Like, Garang is, like, probably, gone high quite quickly. But Nesta's played, like, a fair few games for Adelaide. Whereas, Garang didn't get that, really.
Yeah.
He played, a season? Or a season and a half?
You think about Garang, but he did play next to Cummings, who's, played a good decade over there before he came in. Yeah. You'd know better than anyone else working your way into a top 5 European League side. How long do you think it'd take Garang to crack it at Newcastle? Because to be honest, bro, I'm kind of shocked they haven't record him on loan. I still think they might by the end of the month.
But you know what? I look at my story and I say, like, a good year. Like, I went from MPL to Bundesliga in 9 months.
Fuck, that's insane, eh?
Like, that's mental, right? So it's like I said about nurturing Nesta. Like, Nesta could go from pre-season to start of the season and be ready. Like, who knows? When you're thrust into a professional environment, like, you get better so quickly, right? I'll use a different example. Stephen Hall, young keeper at Adelaide, right? Playing pre-season, started pre-season with us, like, young kid, like, heaps young, yeah? Like, I remember the first session doing cage, like, probably one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen. But he was in a professional environment. But the thing that I saw in him was like that first session, he started talking back. I'm like, what does this kid think he is? Like, I'm really close with him now. We have the same agent, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, the progression in a few months was like this.
Yeah.
Right? So he was in a professional environment in the A-League and he went like this and he made his debut and he killed it. Right? So, like, if you put Garang in the Newcastle United first team setup, in a few months, he could like improve so much. It goes either way. Like, you have to embrace it, obviously. Like, if Nestor goes, like, he can straight. Garang the same. But you have to want it, and you have to go all in.
Yeah.
Like, basically what I did in Germany, you have to do the same.
Time of victory. How's that? Don't have to disclose.
Different again.
Yeah.
Very different. I think going from Adelaide, like, not biggest rivals, but, you know, the original rivalry between Adelaide and Melbourne, I got a lot of stick, and I just thought that working under Popper would be really beneficial for me.
Yeah.
And it was. And I really improved in it. Like how I was just talking, like in a short period of time, the way and the tips he gave me to improve my defending, like unbelievable, right?
Everyone forgets, bro. He played like good level this time.
Definitely. And I think that like the things I learned off him, like in a few months, like improved my game like so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm grateful for that part. But I mean, like, being at a massive club, the expectations are a lot higher. Like, you can't lose a game. We lost 1-0 to Wanderers, like, my starting debut, right, at home. Like, I had a really good game. Like, that jammy. Do you remember Merchela's goal?
No. Was it one of those typical Merchela where, like,
No. He, like, nearly dribbled from halfway. He just drove forward. No one shut him down. He took this shank of a shot. And, like, Miranda, like, Roddy, he cleared it, but, like, terrible clearance. And then Merchela, like, hit some jammy, like, thing and just, like, bobbled and went in. We'll lose the game 1-0. We go in the change room after the game, we got absolutely smashed. I'm like, it's the second game of the season, like, can you relax kind of thing? Yeah. But, like, the board were in there, like, hammering us. Like, we lost 1-0. We didn't play that bad. We had a lot of chances. We should have been 2-0 up in the first 5 minutes. Like, what is going on about?
Nani's in the dressing room.
Nani's in the dressing room. Like, all the big dogs, Victor. And I'm thinking, like, I think I've just played a good game here. And we're getting absolutely belted. Shit being thrown, like, coffee machine slammed. I'm like, I couldn't believe it, if I'm honest. Like, I've seen some pretty, like, nasty and crazy shit in my time. But, like, that was just, like, we just beat Sydney FC. What was it? 4-3 the seasoning opener. Or 3-2, right? Next week, to react like that, I was like, it's a bit early for that kind of thing. But that set the tone for the rest of the season. Lost a lot of respect for the players, of the players, yeah. And yeah, it just went down here from there.
Fuck, man. Bro, I could not think of anything worse than being in a dressing room and the board walks in.
Yeah.
Fuck corporate gimps, get out of my face. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But like,
that's how.
So we go in the change room, right? And like, never met these people before in my life. Just come off, like, just played 90 minutes, like, feel sick, like.
What do you think went wrong in the 1-0? Why would there be a blow-up?
I think because, like, the intensity maybe wasn't there, like, maybe, like.
To create opportunities?
Yeah, we did, but, like, we just couldn't finish. And, like, it wasn't a boring game, but, like, 1-0, like, not that entertaining, like, wasn't back and forth, like, a lot of possession here, there, like, nothing crazy. But I think, like, what they were pissed off about was, like, when, like, I win a header, like, we didn't win the second ball.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that, like, there wasn't real, like, hunger and intensity there. And I think it just capped off by the goal, like, I think it was, like, pissed off about the goal, really. Like, we probably had 3 or 4 players who could have shut down Manchola, and, like, they didn't. And then he gets into the box, like, a centre-back, and Papa's going, like, like, he used to coach Montreal, like, slowest player like he's ever seen in his life, somehow scores a goal, dribbles our whole team pretty much. And, like,
yeah,
I just think, like, yeah, they had such high expectations, like, as in, like, Nani's here, like, we've got a good squad, we're not losing one game this year. So I think they put the expectation on themselves. Like, we're in the change room, like, board members shaking a hand, like, everyone's, like, depressed, like, it was literally like a funeral. I can't even, like, explain to you how depressing it was. And then we just get smashed.
Nani would have been fucking freaked out.
Yeah, he's looking around the room like, what's going on? Like,
yeah,
you lost 1-0. Like, he doesn't like losing, but like,
yeah, Sir Alex would never do that after 1-0.
It's second game of the season.
Yeah. Oh, you hear all the great managers. I love Popper, forever indebted for what he did for Western Sydney. But You hear all the great managers, bro. When it's a 1-0 loss, it's not like a blow up. It's just fuck it, is what it is. Leave it.
But this is why I'm saying you lost the players in that day. The second match day of the year, you've lost the players. Yeah. Why? Because you're smashing them after a 1-0 loss.
Yeah.
Next day, we're at training doing running. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Next week, we'll lose to City.
Yeah, it's a rough run.
Just domino effect.
Yeah.
We had a rough run, but like I played a decent amount of games, not as much as what I would have liked, and just things didn't go the way I wanted, but I did learn a lot.
Yeah.
It was very different. It was a culture shock, even like just being in Australia at a different club, but it's just I didn't enjoy it overall, no.
And then you went back to Gungahlin in Canberra. Shout out to him. Found yourself back at Olympic pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, probably feels like home to you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Putting on that strip.
Definitely.
Last week you played the Greek Herald Cup. Actually, no, fuck it. I want to go back to the Canberra part. Not Gungahlin. You came through the AIS.
Mm-hmm.
You're left back, I know, because my best mate went through the AIS. Jackson Mandura, you know. Henry Davies, my best mate in childhood, went through the AIS. Canberra United. Do you think that's what the AIS should have been? Because my dad always felt, my dad always used to say to me, he goes, it is fucking ridiculous how we don't have a A-League club that represents the AIS. Just call it Canberra. Yeah. But essentially, Dad would always say to me, he goes, because he was part of like this bid that failed, never really got off the ground, but he was part of like helping it. And he would always say to me, he goes, it's just about blooding kids and then building overseas relationships so that Henry, like my mate at the time, Henry can go to America, Europe with relative ease.
Yes. Yep.
But that obviously never happened. For you being from the AIS, was that like something that kind of pissed you off when the AIS shut down?
Yeah, 100%. Because I saw like even the years prior to me, like all the big dogs went there. Like we're talking about like golden generation Socceroos, right?
Vince Grella, Luke Wilkshire, Bresciano, Everton, Viduka and Aloisi, Lucas Neal as well, to name a few, came out of the AIS and we shut it down. So it's like you produce these players, right? I think to answer your question, no, I don't think AIS should have been a Canberra team. I think the AIS is the AIS and there should still be a Canberra team. Right.
What country in the world have the capital city not having a team?
Yeah.
Put that in perspective. It's mental, right? I don't think there would be in the world. Like, that's just crazy. So, like, the AIS was, like, my first taste of professional. Like, we weren't getting paid or anything, but every week, training on one of the best pitches in Australia, massage, nutritionist, recovery centre, change room, like up and goes, muesli bars, everything available to your fridge, like locker with a code, like indoor pitch, theaterette, like video sessions, gym program. Like it was my first taste. Why would you get rid of that? Because that is what I got in Germany. The AIS, from the AIS to like Germany, there was nothing in between that compared.
Yeah, insane.
Sydney FC, like all this stuff. No, nothing. That was nothing compared to AIS. Like, that's how it should be. Players should understand what it's like at an MPL level or whatever. But if you're in the AIS, you need to go like, you should be targeted to then be going overseas. Because that's how it was in that generation. The players you just read, they go overseas, they have good careers.
Yeah.
And they need to form. So the AIS should be how it was. That is the core of the national team too. Imagine you're playing week in, week out. Doesn't matter if it's MPL or not, MWAL. Like if you're playing week in, week out, you get that bond with your players. You go in the tournaments. We always talk about in Australia, like failing at under 17s, under 20, under 23 level. Yeah. Why are we never in the World Cups of these things, or why are we not doing well? Because we don't play regularly enough. Everyone's at their club and then they don't play enough games, or you're getting players picked on politics or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, there should still be an AIS system.
Yeah, I just understand.
100%. And there should be a Canberra A-League team or a Canberra team.
Canberra A-League. Now, I've got to ask for some education. Obviously, you're a Canberra boy. It's no secret. You'd probably, if Canberra United start, the transfer rumours would start for you to go back there.
Yeah.
But any other boys from Canberra that are kicking ball at the top levels?
Jason Guerrier.
Canberra boy.
Yep.
Fuck. God, he's a servant to the game, eh?
Stephen Lustica.
Is he still kicking? I remember one year at Brisbane, bro, he was cracked. He ended up on, do you remember, bro? Did you ever used to play Ultimate Team?
Not really. I did, but like...
So back in the day, they used to do Team of the Season. But there was one, they had this like promo for 1 week where it was like the rest of the world. So besides like the top 5 leagues plus the MLS. But you'd have like bronze team of the season, silver team of the season, and gold team of the season. Yeah. Lusaka got like this bronze team of the season card, bro.
No way.
It was cracked. Yeah, it was sick.
Wow.
But that was that year he scored like, I think 2 hat-tricks.
Did he?
For Brisbane.
Wow.
Maybe not hat-tricks, but he had a few games where like you just
such a good player. Underrated. Really good.
Yeah.
Work engine. Like, techie.
Yeah.
Like, who else do you have? Geria, Lustica, Kai Truan.
Yeah.
Morojas. Who's that? Well, not Wellington. Is it Newcastle? Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah, right.
So like, there's a few boys floating around, like Aaron Evans, like these kind of boys. Like, get Rogic back. Like, I guarantee you, if there's a Canberra team, Rogic will come back.
I contacted him for Redbacks. No joke. You got to try, man.
Did he reply?
Oh, fuck no.
Left on red?
No, not even red.
Oh, shit.
I did try, but I tried.
That's quality.
I've tried him, Moy, Kevin Prince Boateng, and Jesse Lingard. They make good TikToks.
That's banter.
Yeah, bro.
That's proper banter.
Kevin fucking... Kevin's living in like Piedmont or something.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, he just decides
living
to
it up.
Yeah, he just kind of...
Australia's the best.
Yeah, that's what he said. I think Rio Ferdinand of all people was on his potty and he was like, bro, I live in Australia. I love it. Like, it's just mad. Yeah. Honestly, I'm honestly shocked no A-League team's coming in and gone like, you don't even have to try.
He knows now, but like, he doesn't give a shit. Like,
yeah,
he's living it up. Like, he's had his illustrious career.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't need...
Fucking ended on relegation.
Did he?
Yeah.
With Hertha.
Yeah. But that's where he came from.
Boyhood
Hertha,
club.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird ending, eh?
Yeah.
It's very Kevin Prince.
Yeah, it is. I don't think I could end on like that.
I don't think he cares.
I go play for RP or something.
Yeah. We're fucking Redbacks, man. So the Canberra team would have a few of the boys.
Yeah.
I still think Canberra would do it. I think they'd do all right. But besides that, last week I watched you play Greek Herald Cup. So for the time being, you're at Sydney Olympic.
Yeah.
That's where you kind of...
It's my home.
Yeah. You can tell. Last week was pretty cool. Considering he was on with the Unite round, it was in the middle of January. A lot of things considered, it was cool. It was a cool day to watch like you guys play South Melbourne. The only criticism I do have of the organising, there was no Greek alcohol of any choice, which was a bit of a letdown. I was looking for... Yeah. There was what's it called? Like Euros?
Souvlaki, there's no Euros, nothing.
Yeah, nothing, man. That is a huge disappointment. Look at me, man. I need to be fed, and I had like just hot chips. I'm not there for that. Anyway, I think
it's disappointing. Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm gonna go pitch to Marconi, like, let me do your marketing. Because let me know what you think of this. The National Second Division, those clubs on their social media, that all of them got work to do. Every single one of them. No hiding that. But they pose as still family run, juniors and like amateur fucking, bro, you have to pose as a professional football club.
It needs to be separate.
Yes. Or even if you post about it, it still has to be done in a professional way. There's nothing wrong with posting our under sixes are in.
No.
Or there's nothing wrong with posting, especially for Marconi, Dortmund are doing their annual training camp here. Nothing wrong with that. It has to be done professionally. So I'm going to, because my nonna is like at Marconi or whatever. And yeah, she lives out there, and I got to go up to them and just go like, I'm just going to do it for you, bro. Because you see the way it's all presented, and like no one's going to follow any club at this point if it continues the way it's continuing.
No. It's not going to go up unless everything around it goes up with it.
110%. That's why last week I made a big effort to try and do the content.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, thanks.
I saw it and I was like, wow, like this is so different. Something like not we haven't seen before, but like just felt like a bit different. More professional. Like really good coverage.
Bro,
what people want to see.
Yeah.
Like you said on TikTok, like, how do you think I saw all this stuff?
Yeah.
TikTok. Like,
yeah,
it's there to be seen, you know?
110%. And there was a lot of people saying on TikTok, I'm not sure if you read the comments, but they were just like, more NSD coverage because we have nowhere else to get it type of thing.
Yeah.
I got a lot of DMs like that as well. They're
Yeah.
like, bro, just keep covering it.
Yeah, gotcha.
There's no shortage of A-League coverage. We know where to find that. There's highlights everywhere. They're like, you were our first exposure to anything related to it. The Greek Herald Cup, the quality of the game. So I brought Joe Kay, who does like the content as well. But then I brought Jimmy Jam and Harry. And those two Jimmy Jam actually, he was the Arab guy doing like some of the interviews. But he wasn't meant to. He just wanted to. But Harry lives in Townsville. Jimmy Jam had only ever been a one Marconi game before. So that was his first experience of NPL 1. Both of them. Both said, especially Harry during the game, it's like this quality of football was actually a lot higher than I thought for a pre-season second division game.
Yeah.
Because, I made sure to tell them that. First of all, these boys are completely out of shape.
Yeah.
Second of all, second division, this is what you're going to be expecting. But both of them, bro, they were well surprised by the product.
Yeah.
How do you feel going into the national second division next year?
I think like it's good to see that we're making like good strides. I feel like if we peak too early, like you're only going to come crashing down. So I think like we're taking necessary steps like in the right direction. From a personal perspective, like with Olympic, like, we started in November. We've probably had like 8 preseason games and like we've been building really, really well. And I felt like last week was like a culmination of just like really good intensity at training, like a lot of fun, a lot of football. Like you think like, oh my God, they're probably like running like 10Ks every training. But it's like we're running, but we're doing a lot more football than just like straight running.
Yeah.
I hate running, right? But like we have coaches now who understand like the modern game, right? And it's like there's no better fitness than match fitness. So like this week we haven't trained once.
Yeah.
Played Saturday against South Melbourne, played Wednesday, and we're playing tonight. So it's like there's a lot more understanding than just like being in an A-League environment or something where it's like, oh, like, no, we have to train 7 days a week and like play 6 games. Like, no, like it's a lot less pressure and I think it's like benefiting the game.
Yeah.
And I think that like, for example, South, like they trained way more than us, but we came out on top. Like we actually ran over them. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys noticed that watching, but like we looked better in the second half. That's why we scored.
Because I obviously knew about you, I knew about Zig, and I knew about Roy. Walking into that game, like in depth. The little Donny in your midfield that tucks his shirt in.
Sammy.
Loved him.
Sammy, man.
I loved him,
Yeah,
man.
he's the best.
Even when, bro, this sounds so silly, but it's a little thing. Even when he knows he probably won't get there, he still tries. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those
100%.
guys.
He's a fighter. He's like a Nisbet, like similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's just, I don't know.
Such a
I
good
liked
kid.
him on the ball as well.
Really good. Really clean.
Yeah. And
Good
when
6.
You could tell when you got the ball and the other centre backs, or like say Ziggy got the ball, like when you'd watch him kind of like move around, you just kind of like got it. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, his game awareness is really, really, really good.
Yeah. He's one of those guys where I was like, oh yeah, he probably could go A-League if you.
Yeah. Well, he was in
if you wanted to.
He was in the Sydney FC setup with me.
Yeah.
He was a trainer when I was back in the day. So like, I think
Who's the guy with the long hair?
long hair.
Number 10 maybe?
Darcy,
Yeah.
Max's brother, Burgess.
Darcy Burgess surely played in the A-League. Or am I? I'm thinking of the wrong person.
No, he never played. He's been at Olympic for like a long time now. He was at Rockdale just before I joined Olympic many years ago.
Surely that's controversial. It's fucking down the road.
He's been at Olympic ever since.
Yeah.
Good player. Really good player.
With the national second division, do you think it'll be better it runs in the winter? I personally think it'll do. That's my opinion.
I feel like it just has to, like,
Football's meant to be in the winter.
That's
in my
right.
opinion.
That's just the way it goes, and like they need to just play as many games as possible. Like this year NPL, we got 30 games plus 6-game finals potentially.
Yeah.
Midweek cup games. Like that's how it has to be. That's what we have to work towards. That's a good amount of games. Then you add like 8 to 10 preseason games. Then you're talking like now we're acting like we're in Europe.
Yeah.
Like in Germany, I played 44 games in 1 year, and I missed like a month with injury.
That's insane.
You know what I mean? So I'm playing nearly 50 games in Germany, and that's how it's going to be potentially this year.
Yeah.
That's how it needs to be. Like, if we want to, like, produce players, game time's the most important thing. Consistency.
Yeah.
Playing good amount of games every year, week in, week out.
If you were to say any players from Olympic that people should watch that you wouldn't know about, who would you say?
We just got George Timotheou.
Oh yeah,
From
Terry's
Wanderers.
little brother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really good player.
Good on you, bro. It's a good deal for him.
Yeah, very good. He
Yeah.
needs to play. He just needs game time. Like, literally what I was just saying.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely one to watch out for. We got so many players, man. Like, we have a really, really good squad. Even
Yeah.
Abraham Majok.
Who was? Yeah, I saw he signed, bro. Fuck, I looked at Joe. I did a pod with Joe on Monday, released it on Wednesday. In the pod, he brings up Majok, and I looked at where he'd been like over the past few years. Crazy life.
So
bro.
random, yeah, so random.
Crazy
I
life.
love asking him about his stories because he's just so
I'm
random.
glad he came home alive.
No, it's good.
The fella who came up front, big,
Josh,
yeah. Where's he from, bro? What?
Mariners set up.
Right,
Yeah.
sick,
Yeah.
bro. He came on. He was
Beast.
aggressive as well.
Yeah.
He was the only guy.
Beast.
It was the first aggression I really saw in the game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah,
See, this is a good thing. Our squad on paper, unbelievable, man.
yeah,
Like, even if the roles are reversed, even if we have Majok and, Josh starting, and then you bring on Roy, or vice versa. If Roy's starting and we're injecting with this pace, like Jaden Casella, like proper baller, right?
yeah,
We have so many good players, like both teams, like our bench could play NSD.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we have such good squad depth, and like shout out to like Damon and Laurie and Labby for putting together such a good
Yeah.
squad on paper, and like good bunch of boys. Like, I think we're gonna do really well this year in MPL,
Yeah, man.
and
Now-
heading into NSD too.
Yeah, it'll be sick. I'll be at a few games. I fucking loved it. I just wish there was Greek food and
Yeah.
beers, man.
Well, there will be at Belmore, so
Yeah.
got to get down to Belmore.
Yeah, oh, bro, I'll be there. Shout out Angelica for letting me walk around on the field and talk to random people. All right, we'll do this because it's 2:30 p.m. So you got a game. What time's your game?
7.
No, I'm having
Got
a
it.
beer.
I got to have a cheeky nap.
Oh, really?
That's
Is that your game day?
I have mad superstitions, hey.
Yeah?
I
What
do.
are they?
So game day, caramel latte,
No.
coffee. I need to have something like a little bit sweet in the morning. No, I don't have breakfast. I just have like something like a little bit sweet, like maybe like small little pastry or something. Lunch, always pasta.
Bro,
Fresh on the day, has to be.
pasta and bolognese are like a big thing in sport, eh? For like the game day stuff.
See, I don't have red meat.
Right.
No red meat on game day, right? So I have like either like ricotta pasta, just like really plain, simple bit of chili, nice.
Yeah.
On the way to the game, Red Bull, Mars bar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So random. So random, but it just works, right? Those are just like little things, like the way I put my boots on, like, I have to have a nap, like just small things that just mentally like clock me in. Because like I've been doing this for, like since Germany, like before Germany,
Yeah.
for the longest time. Probably for the last 10 years, been doing the same thing every game day.
Yeah.
Hasn't failed.
Yeah. Fuck. Look, you'd probably be shocked to learn this, but I run big amounts. I ran a half marathon like 2 weeks ago, actually, on this
Wow.
day. 24 kilometers.
Jesus.
Have you ever been up in the Blue Mountains?
No.
So-
Probably, but not.
Yeah, when you walk out of
For a
here,
long
you'll just
time.
see legit the mountains. I ran from like a place called Wimerley down to Penrith, and I had to do so I ran 10 kilometers multiple times. I ran like 2 or 3 with like by trial and error of like what I have to do beforehand, and now I have a full thing in my head of like everything I have to go through. Have to be in bed by 10, wake up, only have water and Powerade. The night before, I eat 3 slices of toast. I don't eat anything before I run, and then
Wow.
and then I run the big distance, and I have to set off running. I have to get up, put my shit on, and walk straight out the door. I can't think about it, otherwise I'll turn into a bit of a bitch, and inner bitch just starts like chirping at me like,
Clocking out.
you don't have to do it. Like,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one's
yeah.
telling you to run.
Yeah,
that far.
yeah.
And then I walk down the driveway, stretch, run, go. I'm
That's
done.
it.
I'm on my way. But yeah, it's like it's become a full thing.
Yeah, that's cool. But
It's cool to have.
yeah, definitely.
Now I wanted to ask you technically 4 questions. Make a five-a-side out of players you've played with.
Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Players I've played with.
Yeah. You got to say the formation, or actually we'll do make a six-a-side so you can include a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So make a six-a-side out of players you've played with.
Oh, this is so hard.
But you got to state your formation beforehand as well, like
Gotcha.
yeah, what positions you're doing.
I'll do a... So 6 including goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I'll do a 2 at the back,
Yeah.
2 in midfield, 1 up top.
Yeah.
Goals, Joe Gauchi.
Yeah. Great shout. You're not playing.
I can't play?
No, you're not playing.
Stambuli.
Yeah.
Jakobsen.
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Jakobsen. Adelaide. Harry.
Yeah.
Wes.
Yeah. Weston McKennie for those listening.
And up top,
Yeah.
Mark Yanko.
Mark Yanko. Bro, not Haji Wright?
No.
Ah,
Mark
what a name, eh? I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah.
He was a good signing for Sydney.
Wow.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's quick fire, just straight off the top of my head.
Right, well,
Obviously, if I had like
time.
time, I'd be thinking.
Fuck that.
But like, yeah,
That's a great six-a-side.
pretty good 6-a-side team.
Mine, yeah. But then who is your that you versed?
Oh
Go the exact
my
same
God.
structure, but who you versed.
Wow.
Should preface for everyone, you played A-League All-Stars versus Man United, wasn't it? Or Sydney?
Yeah, victory.
Oh, Victory.
Victory
Played Man
against Man
United,
U.
yeah.
Against. I'm trying to think of a goalkeeper.
You played Matty Ryan?
No, don't think so.
I'm trying to think.
Man, this is hard as. Maybe I'll go the other way.
Who's
I'll start up top.
Who was in goals for Stuttgart that day?
I can't remember. Good keeper, but I don't remember his name. Let's just say him. Look
Start
it up.
up top.
Look it up.
I'll get his name. So you start at strike. I'll get his name.
Mario Gomez,
Yeah.
Rashford.
One midfielder.
What one midfielder? I put Rashford in midfield.
Oh, right.
A little bit of a 10.
Yeah.
Sancho,
Yeah.
Pavard. One more defender. Jonathan Tah.
Jonathan Tah. When did you play him for under 23s?
No.
When did you play him?
Leverkusen.
Oh, true. The goalkeeper that you would be able to pick is Robert Zieler. It's not a bad shout. He ended up at Leicester the year after that,
Yeah,
I'm
good.
pretty sure.
Yeah, let's put him in goal.
Bro, that's gone. Now, these ones are a bit more simple. May come to you straight away, may not. The most underrated player you've ever played with, most underrated player you've ever played against.
Underrated player played with
Yeah.
Milos Dimitrijevic.
Don't even know the name.
Don't know him.
Don't think so.
Sydney FC. Serbian.
Yeah, right. Milos Dimitrijevic.
Like literally on par with Ninkovic.
Yeah, right.
Like absolute baller. One of the best, like technically, man. Played with him at Sydney. Wow.
And most underrated you've ever played against.
Underrated. Probably William Brandt.
William Brandt. What a wild name. That's all right. Question A.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Well, that's it for another week, ladies and gentlemen. George has to go because he's got to play professional football. I'm about to sink a drink west. Anyway, see you next week. Thanks for hopping on, brother.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, man. See you next week.